By the way, if you guys want to try that after, I have a few extra. If you guys think it looks easy. No?
How many extra?
What's up?
How many extra?
I have 6 extra.
Open mic conversations.
I'll do mine.
Can you see?
3, 4. Okay, good. 4. Broken 4? This is 5. 4 broken? Yes, sir.
It says to rotate the device. Or
Structure Geneva.
Structure Geneva. Okay.
Okay, so what we do often they go to schools and teach about the traditions, right? And they focus on the technical part, they focus on the achievement, and they don't put a lot of emphasis on the tradition or the philosophy behind what we do. So here at Legacy Martial Arts, one thing that we try to preserve is the tradition and continue to apply the philosophy and teach it to the students and apply it in their lives, right? Also, within the tradition comes the customs, since Taekwondo is Taekwondo, we use a lot of the customs in the regular class, when we stand, when we salute the flag, the way we shake our hands. But one thing that we saved for the end is some of the etiquette and how we share a meal. And not all students will have this experience, but instructor Nick has already had it, right? The experience of having to dine, maybe with high-level grandmasters, and you're sharing a meal with them, and you don't know what to do because you don't understand the culture. So many people, they have the belt, but very shallow knowledge, right? So the the other day myself, I went to share a meal with some other Korean grandmasters, my seniors, and I was sitting there, and there were many other masters. And actually, some of them were Korean born in America. Some of them were half Korean, right? And I was shocked. I was shocked because I was sitting and sharing a meal with them, and I was shocked, right? And you know, maybe that's a symptom of a society now, that maybe in all cultures now, maybe the tradition is kind of put aside, and people tend to overlook that, right? But I think it's wrong. I think it's wrong. So I was sitting at the table, and people start eating. And the head of the table was just looking at everybody, right? People were drinking, and he was just like waiting. He was being very patient. You know, you can tell that he understood. He took no offense on that, right? He kind of looked around, and then he noticed me and my were sitting on the other side of the table, and he saw the way we carried ourselves, right? So there's so many things in all cultures, you know, things that you do and you don't do. And the more you get immersed into something, and in this case, we're doing a martial art that is from a different culture, right? In my opinion, getting a black belt, getting a second degree black belt, third degree black belt, has to go much deeper, right? You have your bars, you have your belt, but you need to know why you do things, where this came from, and how it was done before, right? So this is just a little part of it, right? And I learned this as a first degree black belt too, when I had my first meal with my master. And luckily, I had a mentor too, you know, that showed me the way. He said, you know, before we sat down, he told me, okay, when we sit with Grandmaster, you do this, you do that, and he showed me, right? And that made me look so good, and I remember that day, because his wife was there, and she was watching me, right? And then he was watching me too. And then I heard that his wife murmured something to his ear, right? And they kind of nodded like this, right? And I was curious, and you know, and I asked if everything was okay. And his wife told me, you eat like a Korean. How do you know this, right? And I felt very proud. So when I teach this, you know, to students, right? Maybe some students will get to use it. Not everybody will, because those opportunities come as you move up and you start getting more, you become a black belt, like, you know, third degree black belt going forward, and you start meeting other people, right? Other masters, right? But if it does, it really serves you well. It makes you look good, right? Regardless if other people don't care or don't do it. So, with Instructor Nick, right? You know, we're going to do this tea ceremony, and there is a whole order on how we do things. The senior, in this case is me, right, is the first one to drink, right? The juniors drink after me. Since she is sitting side by me and she's the master, she can drink it straightforward, but, you know, you can drink to the side too, right, if you want to, right? So you will go left side, you will go to your right, right? Drinking over your left shoulder, right? So in the Korean culture, it's considered rude to drink straight up facing your senior, right? There's other things, right? But that's something that we try to teach you, right? And what I wanted to say too is that when people get immersed in this world of martial arts and Taekwondo, right? They learn things like that, and then it feels so quiet, because to me, because I show up to this event, and this Grandmaster tells me, right? He doesn't know my name. I mean, he's seen me, right? But the English that he was trying to say, he was saying, Nicholas. I'm not Nicholas. I'm Andres. then he probably thought what he wanted to tell me. And he said, your student is Nicholas, right? And I knew what he meant, right? I knew what he meant. That was good, right? Instructor Nick is now captain of the Cookie One demo team, right? You guys know that, right? He's not only captain and director of the Legacy demo team, but he got selected by these Korean grandmasters that are running the Cookie One branch here in California, which is, I think is an exceptional thing they're doing. And out of all the people that decided to go try out, he got selected to join the team. But not only that, right away, he got selected to run the team, to be the captain, right? And that's very special. That's very special, right? That's a big honor, right? It's not something that you can think, oh, you know, it's a very big honor, right? So with that saying that, you know, we just want to know that, we want to say that, you know, things like this matter, right? Tradition matters, manners matter, right? Philosophy matter, and it matters more than the technique, right? It matters more than the art itself, right? Without the art itself, without that, is incomplete, right? So with this teacher Morningstar, we're going to welcome you as a master today, which is a very special thing. Homegrown, I think you are actually the first master that's grown here, under this roof, on this mat. We had other masters before, like Master Todd, you know, but we connected in different ways. When I was an instructor for